Hey, it's Phil Ratcliffe with Rebel Financial, and thanks for joining us for a live broadcast. We're back at the golf course. This week, we're in Groveport, the links at Groveport. We moved down here because we moved offices. Tony with me, old hand, us together doing these. And back with us again, John Lubinsky. This is your third or fourth time on the show, right? You're like our local celebrity.
Something like that.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us again. You've been a great partner. You help a lot of our clients. And also have been a great sponsor of ours for more than 4 years. So thank you so much again for sponsoring during a harder time with COVID. We didn't even know if we were going to be able to do it.
I was surprised too, but happy to be here. So,
well, good deal. So obviously, if you've never joined us for a golf tournament, you should. We keep growing it every year. This year, obviously, a little bit subdued, but we've worked real hard to make it safe for everybody, to have everybody have their own cart and try to socially distance as much as we can. But it's going to be successful. We're going to raise some money for charity. We raise it primarily for our foundation, which works to try to lobby the government to give more grant funding for research and development to the National Science Foundation and the National Institutes of Health. So thanks everyone for their support, and anybody that's coming out to play. It's going to be a beautiful day. So we're going to dig into the meat and potatoes a little bit of what you do, because I think it's interesting for people, because everybody buys houses, right? Yeah.
At some point in their life.
Yeah. Hopefully. You don't want to rent your whole life.
That's the American dream, right?
Right. So tell us a little bit about, you were telling me about the state of real estate, and obviously your context is more locally,
right.
Central Ohio. But I think people would think that things have slowed down because of COVID. Tell us.
Yeah, COVID did not hurt us.
Didn't stop it at all.
March 13th is when everything shut down, and I thought, oh my gosh, start looking at your numbers and how long can I survive in a downturn market, and it never slowed down.
Wow.
I mean, never. It did not miss a beat. In fact, this is the busiest year I've ever seen.
Wow, still?
It's unbelievable. And now this is Columbus Market. The
Sure.
Columbus Market, you guys know, is hot and has been hot. It's been between 1 and 3 in the U.S. for a long time.
Wow.
And a lot of that has to do with, we're bringing in about 42,000 people per year in population growth, and they expect that to continue for the next 20 years. So
yeah,
it's been nuts. Prices are going up, multiple offers on everything. If you're under the $300,000 mark, you can expect there to be 50 to 60 showings and
that's awesome.
10 to 20 offers on a place.
So it's still a big seller's market.
It's a huge seller's market, right? But it doesn't mean you can slack on getting your house ready or pricing it right. You can't just go out there and put any number on it and get it. You still got to do the right things, but it will sell.
Yeah. What about schools coming up? Are we going to see? I mean, typically there's a little bit of a slowdown, right?
And I keep telling everybody, I'm like, don't list in August. August is always the worst month because as schools start, people are finishing off their vacations at the beginning of the month, and then they start school and everything goes awry and slows down. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I have not seen a slowdown yet, but it's still the beginning of August, so we'll see what happens. But most schools are going online now. I think Dublin just announced they're doing a 50-50 kind of a thing.
Okay.
You're going 2 days and then 3 days.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. I know a lot of them are just saying stay all online for a while, and then we'll open later if things are good. So it is amazing to me how many colleges and universities and schools are there's no consistency. It's you really got to look up, and they're all kind of doing their own thing, right?
Hey, look, nobody knows what to do. I mean, in 1918 was the last time we had anything like this.
Yeah.
And the world is different now.
For sure.
And nobody alive really went through that, so we don't know.
And I don't think we have a complete grasp on 1918.
Right.
What happened, much less this
Absolutely.
pandemic too. So.
And everybody has their own opinions and facts, so
I mean, a fact should be a fact.
And everybody's got a platform
You're
to
talking
get
about
it out
science,
too.
and facts should be facts. But
we were just watching that old cartoon Pixar movie, Inside Out, or what is it? It's the
Wall-E?
No, the one with the cartoon characters that are the emotions inside of them. And when they're on the train and they spill the opinions and facts, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and he's like, "Don't worry about it. It happens all the time." And he just starts throwing them into different boxes all mixed together.
I've not seen
I
it,
think
but
it
I
is
think I know
Inside
what
Out.
you're talking
Yeah.
about. I think it is Inside Out.
Yeah.
Right.
But
how much, John? I mean, interest rates are as low as we've ever seen them. How much is that driving this?
Right. I think that's a huge driving point.
We're filming.
It was A couple of years ago, we were sitting at 3%, and like, okay, this is the lowest it's ever going to be. You know,
ever.
Buy now. And then it started to climb, and it got up to about 5%. And then all this took place, and the rates started dropping,
again.
And now we're down again to historical lows. I've been closing people at 299. I just got an email for one that's at 2625 on a 30-year. On a 30-year fix.
We say it'll never be this low again, but maybe we'll be like Europe and go negative interest rates, and you get a mortgage for like 0.5% or something, right?
Yeah, or they start paying you to take their money. I don't know what's going to happen.
That would be crazy.
So 3% is just outrageous.
So how much of that? I mean, to me, it seems like that's a big driver right now. You know,
It is a
which
big
could have
driver.
a negative effect down the road when they do go back because he's been so low.
Well, the thing is, all the first-time buyers right now, when they get ready to buy their second home, they're not going to know what to do if the rates are higher. They're going to say, "Oh, I'm not buying now; it's way too high."
They're 5%.
They go back to the '80s when they were, at 17%. You know, it's like,
for sure.
This is unbelievable. I mean, basically.
But people are still, if they're gonna buy, they're gonna buy. If they need to upsize or move areas, it's gotta happen. It's just you're not gonna get the extra demand of the refinancing, which is probably like a huge boon to the broker, like the mortgage brokers.
Yep.
Right
You're
now,
always gonna have downsizers. You're always gonna have relocations. You're always gonna have growing families. So it's going to continue no matter what.
Yeah.
Especially with the population growth.
And so with what you said, I mean, if you are in that position of where you're selling your first family home and you're upgrading maybe to a $5,000 or $6,000 home, then that may be a good opportunity because that market's not as hot as, like you said, the 150 to 300, right?
That's exactly it. Yep. That's what I keep telling everybody. I'm like, if you're moving to buy into a higher bracket, that $500,000 or higher, you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
If you're looking to move laterally at a $300,000, it's going to be tough.
Sure.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. I think one of the things we always fight with people, especially when the market's hot like it is now, from a financial planning perspective, is people always want to buy at the same time that they sell. We try to tell people the right way to do this is like with a contingent thing, not to try to withdraw your retirement or take a loan from your retirement or take out investments, because sometimes it doesn't work out right. Now, it's probably a higher probability now because it's easier to sell, but you just don't know. We've seen people lots of times get stuck with 2 houses.
That's right.
2 mortgage payments, 2 property taxes,
right.
etc. And then you just never know when something's going to happen. It may seem good, but then somebody may lose their job, right? And now you don't have the awesome extra $600 unemployment. Again, this is not something that's going to happen to everyone, but a certain probability of people, somebody's going to get smacked, right? And it's kind of gambling, and if you are doing good, why risk it, And so if you have a good realtor, like someone like you, banker, etc., you can do it, and it's not going to make a huge difference in terms of what you're going to be able to get, right?
Right. So I talk a lot about the market being so hot and all the multiple offers we have on things, and that's really what drives people to not want to do the home sale contingencies, because it's really hard to win a bid with a home sale contingency. But I will tell you that since June, I've written 5 of them and gone into contract with a home sale contingency, because you can, if you talk it through with the seller and with the seller's
agent, how
agent,
good it's going to be.
Look, our house is going to be sold in a day. That's the reason they're not selling first, because they don't have anywhere to go.
And you can do it backwards too. You can put a contingency on the sale.
Correct.
To say, I'll sell it to you, but you don't get to close and get in until I bought this house. So sell first, put that contingency on there. And since it is a seller's market, people will go for that, right? And then that way you're still able to close like boom, because you go there and say, hey, it's contingent upon this, but the house is already sold. So I'm closing next week or whatever.
We have a lot of people taking advantage of the hot market because we don't know how long the seller's market will last. The election could change a lot. And what they're doing is they're selling and moving in with family, or moving into a 3-month rental, or getting a long-term Airbnb or whatever they have to do. And then when that right house hits, they can make the offer not contingent and be ready to go. But the same thing,
that's a great
they're
way
not
to do it,
taking the risk because they already have their money and they know exactly what they got for their house, which can be a lot more than what they're expecting.
Before.
I'm sure you've talked to JB. So.
Yeah. Well, we do get that, first-hand experience probably more often than most people, because we have a decent amount of clients, and like we said, there's things going on in people's life. They're going to be buying, selling. Seems like we've got at least one, every month to every other month, So
I think part of the bigger picture here too is how much somebody can benefit from the help of a good realtor. And we're talking about people who might be, buying, selling and buying, but rent's gotten so expensive. Now is probably a good time for a lot of people to think about buying. And what they should be doing,
Yes.
even if they're considering it, is to reach out a good realtor like you, just to really give a lot more thought and in-depth analysis to what that might be in what scenario they should be buying and maybe not be buying.
And if they're buying, they're not paying anything, right? It's the seller's paying that. So
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why we do that, so that
Yeah.
buyers will actually use agents, because otherwise they'd be unrepresented. But we're getting a ton of first-time buyers, and you're absolutely right. The rent is just astronomical now, and you could get a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage, and pay significantly less than your rent in many cases.
That's awesome.
I mean, what a 3-bedroom starts about $1,500 right now in rent.
Yeah.
And goes up from there, especially if you're getting a house, you're getting the 2000s.
Yeah.
And you can carry a 3-bedroom mortgage for $1,200. I mean, it just makes sense.
For sure.
Invest your money.
And it depends on where you go too, right? You know, so,
Absolutely. Could be even less.
Absolutely. And then beyond spending less, then you're going to own it after a certain period of time, depending on what mortgage you took up.
You're building equity all the time. I mean, especially if you pay a little extra toward principal, and you can pull that all out later.
Cool. Well, any last closing thoughts for everybody, like thinking about buying or selling, or the real estate market?
Well, so one of the things that Tony and I were talking about earlier is because interest rates are so low, we've got a lot of people that could buy cash, but they're taking mortgages because they're getting 3% mortgages or less.
Yeah.
And they're keeping their money invested, which is a great idea. And they're making 6%. So they're making money on the bank's money. I know a lot of people are tempted to do cash because then you win the bids easier, which is true. I mean, people still love cash. But sometimes you can do a short-term loan maybe against something, and maybe you guys know more about that, but and put it back in there once you close and refinance it.
Sure, absolutely. Or they could pay cash and then just finance it afterwards so that the buyer doesn't.
That's exactly
whatever. If they have
Just
the
one
cash.
more reason to get involved with a realtor and probably a
professionals.
planner and
Get
a,
some
even get
ideas.
it because a lot of people say, well, it's only 3% versus I could make 5 to 7% investing it, but it's more than that as well too, because even just like hiring a professional, just like hiring a realtor, like investment, tax planning, retirement planning, if people have after-tax money versus it all being locked up in a business or a piece of property so there are lots of cool things that we can do in terms of Roth conversions, contributions to retirement plans that are well above, different benefits at work like deferred compensation, and if they didn't have that money available, they would not be able to do any of those things. And over like a 10 to 20 year period, it could be like 2 houses. It's not just 3% versus like 6%. So again, find somebody that's good at what they're doing, that's going to look out for your best interest, whether it's buying a house, whether it's looking out for your tax planning in the future, or retirement planning, or investment planning. There are good people out there that are very symbiotic. It's not they're just going to cost you this percent, right? They're going to make your life better and make you have a higher net worth, have more, be more secure.
Well,
thanks
can
again.
I add? I think one of the reasons that we work together well is one of the things that your principle is that people before profits.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I believe, and that's you've got to find a realtor that's willing to do that for you. Not be looking at their paycheck. So
For sure.
That's why I like you guys and what you do.
Same to you. I mean, again, we're not just plugging you because you sponsored. I mean, I can tell you, John's helped tons of our clients, and he's one of the few people that we'll tell them to go see, and they come back to us and say, thank you so much for referring us to John Lubinsky. So you're definitely the same way. We appreciate you. You've won our loyalty if you keep doing what you're doing. So
Always.
Well, thank you guys for joining in. It's a beautiful day today. If you're coming out to join us, we are excited to see you. Be safe, be healthy. Join us next week for our book review on Genghis Khan. It's going to be a good one. We're excited about it. So have a great, beautiful, safe, healthy weekend.
Have a great weekend, everybody.